And finally, it is time for the video you all have been waiting for. My top 5 reads of 2018. Although, let's be honest, is anybody really surprised at any of the books that made this list? Hello everybody, Noria back again. So let's go straight to my number 1 favorite read of 2018. And really, is anybody surprised at this point? It's The Poppy War by Arif Kwang. Now, I keep saying it, this book is perfection. So for you to understand just how much I love this book, let me give you a quick rundown. This book is basically about war, or rather, it's about power. Or maybe it's about God, or maybe it's about addiction, or maybe it's just about how we tend to sign up for way more than we expected. Or maybe it's just all about a girl who sets out to prove herself. And boy, does she prove herself. Rin basically is what you would consider part of a lower caste of society. She's a poor war orphan who was basically working as an indentured servant. And when it is that she's told that she's going to marry some old guy she has zero interest in marrying, just so that our employers can, get the in they need into the opium trade, she decides that nah, fam. And then she takes these very, very difficult exams, excels at like the top of the district, and goes into one of the most prestigious military schools. Like this military school, poor people don't make it, dark-skinned girls don't make it. No, it is meant to be for the elite of the elite, for their children, and Rin makes it there. And of course, she now has to adapt because she's a joke amongst her peers, but she has anger and she's not willing to back down, and she's just fantastic, and she kicks butt at school. And then she finds a master and decides to become a shaman, which is where things get very interesting, because shamanism in this book, in fact, what am I even saying? There is nothing about this book that is in any ways kids play. For a long time, I thought this book was under YA, and I remember wondering that I don't understand, how can a book this brutal, this honest, this real, this dark be considered YA? But it's not YA. It turns out that it's actually more new adult and adult fantasy, and I understand why, because this book is weighty. This book goes dark. Rin is the anti-hero of your dreams, because every single choice she makes, you understand the circumstance that leads to her getting to that point. You can deal with it. You totally get where she's coming from. And Rin, oh my darling Rin does not see the world in black and white. The world is all grey to her, baby. And she would make decisions that would have you questioning your morality, because you would think and you would actually realize that if you had been in her shoes, if you'd seen what she'd seen, if you've heard her friends talk and about their own experiences, you would realize that, wait, this is probably a decision I might have taken. And then you wonder and you sit there and you're like, so am I actually a good person? Like, this book will have you questioning if you're truly the hero or the anti-hero. And let me tell you this, like, anti-hero all the way. I am not even going to hide it. I'm not even going to lie about it, because this book is real. It's real about war. It's real about power. It's real about addiction. It's real about how truly terrifying the gods can be. And it's real about how human beings, we ultimately have a choice. Even if it is predestined fate, the gods do accept and believe that it is our choice to make. So when you eventually do make that choice, you know that it was all you, and you have to live with the consequences. I love this book. I find this book totally and completely engaging from beginning to end. It is not for everybody, but if this is your type of book, then it would make it more than worth your while. My second favorite read of the year, and this was very, very close, like very, very close. It's Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. Now, I love Six of Crows. I love both books in the duology. I think they are both fucking perfect, but I didn't want to put both books so that I could, make room for other books. Besides, I'm not gonna lie, Crooked Kingdom is my favorite in the duology. Like, I love Six of Crows, but Six of Crows was world building and laying down the foundation. We got to meet the characters, we got to understand their motivations, we got to understand their world. All of that took place, which meant that the beginning of Six of Crows kind of dragged a little. It's still a 5-star. They are both 5-star reads for me, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. But the beginning kind of dragged a little, but not for any fault of Lee Bardugo, but just because she had created this entire world and this cast of characters, 6 different characters, each with their own voice and motivations, and were distinct in their own right. So of course it would take a while. It took a while to get into it, but by the time it picked up speed, Six of Crows never let out. But Crooked Kingdom hit the ground running. And when I say running, I mean this fucking ass book flew. Like, it fucking flew. It did not have any breaks. It just went barreled straight ahead. The writing is fast-paced and beautiful and fantastic. The characters are engaging. You would understand them. You would get their motivations. You will fall in love. I love Kazbreka. Oh my God, I love Kazbreka. I love me my bad boys with a soft inner core. A soft inner core that you never see, except it's for a very, very, very special few. Special few being in Edge. But still, like, some people might not like Kaz. Because, you know, that is a 19-year-old boy, although if you're being honest, Kaz is probably like 24. Like, in my head, it's probably like 23, 24. But sure, yeah, we believe you, Lee is 19. Makes perfect sense. So, Kaz is your regular 19-year-old boy, you know, a bit traumatized, a bit scarred, who basically would hit you several times over, so you learn to fear him. Like, but he has this loyalty to his friends, to Inej, that just shines bright and beautiful. It's just fucking brilliant. And his mind, Kazbreka's motherfucking mind, that is what they call, like, if you could look up evil genius with a heart of gold, Kazbreka's picture is all over that. Then we have Inej, love of my life. She is deadly and loyal and fast and beautiful and amazing and talented, and also so traumatized and religious. And oh God, Inej, I love Inej. She's Inej is a dream. Nina is fucking strong and beautiful and also loyal. That's the thing. Every single member of the Dregs is loyal to a T, although they showed their loyalty in different ways. And when I say they, I mean Kaz, but they are all loyal to a T. And Nina is just so fucking strong and powerful, and yet she has this heart, you know, that shows when she cares for you and when she loves you. She will go to the ends of the world for you, even though she can crush a man's heart just with a thought. Next, there's Jesper, my gambling, no self-control having son. I love him. Jesper and his pistols and his heart and his charm. And oh my God, Jesper is funny. Jesper is lovable. Jesper is amazing. Jesper is deadly. Because that's another thing. See, every single member of the Dregs, they are all charming and funny, except for Kaz. They're all charming and funny and amazing and brilliant. And also deadly as fuck. Like, they will stab you. They will kill you. They will rob you. And it will just be all in a day's work for them. Like, Jesper is my bisexual son, and I love him. Oh my God. And then there's Willen, my demolitions loving little boy. Willen is adorable. Of course, he has that slightly maniacal side to him, you know, because he really loves blowing things up. He also loves Jesper, which I think is just, it's just fucking fantastic. You just have them, they're just perfect, they're just cool. And then Matthias, which was another reason why I love Crooked Kingdom, because see, I did not really like Matthias in Six of Crows, but in Crooked Kingdom, he more than redeemed himself. Like, if you've read this book, you understand what I'm talking about. Matthias. The redemption arc of that boy. The redemption arc. But that is the thing. Lee Bardugo has you caring about these characters. She tells this book from 6 different perspectives. The perspective of Kaz, Inej, Nina, Matthias, Jesper, and Wylan. And you understand who is talking. You understand their motivation. It's perfect. This book is like, has everything I want in the book. It's a perfect ice novel. I love ice novels. It's a heist novel with a band of misfits and characters you'll grow to love. You don't even grow. You meet them and you fall in love with characters you love and understand and adore completely. The writing is fast paced. Oh my god, the amount of feints in this book. Like, I like being able to think ahead and be like, okay, this is probably what is going to happen. The Badugo would forever tell you that, oh, you think you know what is going to happen. Okay, I'm going to take a left. And then she will take a left and you're like, whoa, I did not see that coming. And just when you're wrapping your head around the fact that you cannot think as fast as Libadugo, you cannot imagine all the things she's going to come up with. She takes another left and you're like, holy shit, I did not see that coming. This book is a compilation of I did not see that coming. Not did I see coming how much I am going to love every inch of this perfect book. And you just realize that I just ranted so much about how I love the book without giving you an idea of what this book is about. All you need to know about this book is that there are 6 characters you go to love. There's a heist, you'll be like, holy shit, that is daring as fuck. Are you really going to do that? And then you realize that never say anything is impossible for the dregs. My third favorite read of the year is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Like, you know where the other books had so much excitement and had me so pumped? This book has me reflective because this book is at its core heartbreaking. It's all about a girl who witnesses the death of her best friend in the hands of a police officer, and it is such a heartbreaking book because it is such an honest book. This is a conversation we all need to have about the criminalization and brutalization of Black bodies, about how racism is so systemic that people who are well-meaning in other aspects of their lives do not realize when their racism is spewing. It's about racism in its different forms, you know, from insulting a friend when she's playing basketball and saying she should think of the ball as fried chicken, to shooting a young unharmed Black boy multiple times. Is portraying that young Black unarmed boy as being a drug dealer just so that you can fit in the narrative that this white cop did not just kill a young innocent boy in cold blood. It's about how even if he had not been so innocent, his life still mattered. He had family who loved him. He had friends who adored him. He had connections to make. He had places to go. He had a mother he was taking care of. And it humanized the Black Lives Matter movement, which was in itself already humanized to me. But it reopened old wounds, and it gave voice to an oppressed group. And it is a book that it's perfect in its execution. And I cannot stop thinking about it because this is a book that will haunt you. This is a book that will haunt you because in as much as it being so honest and so true and so vulnerable, this is a situation that is still happening the world over. So you understand just how powerful, that's the word, this book is powerful. And I am so thankful Angie wrote it. And I'm so thankful I got the chance to read it. And I think everybody should read this book. My fourth favorite book of the year is Freshwater by Akweke Emezi. This book is mysticism in its purest form. How do I explain my love for Freshwater? Firstly, this book is very divisive. I read it with a lot of friends. It was the book we chose to read for our book club that month, and half of the people in the room hated it. In fact, what am I saying? 75% of the people in the room hated it. And when I told them this book is a solid 5-star and would easily be one of my favorite books of the year, they could not understand it. They could not wrap their heads around it because this is the story of the Ada, a young woman who is an Ogbanje. Now, to give you a little bit of a background, in Nigeria, there's this belief that children who keep dying over and over and over again actually Ogbanje spirits, children from the spirit world who come to physical side in order to taste life a little and torment their family and then go back. And it's actually a big thing. Like Wale Soyinka has talked about it, John Pepe Clark has talked about it. If you've read Ben Okri's The Famished Road, you would understand it as well. So They call it the abiku, they call it the ogbanje and everything else. So it's steeped in mysticism, and it's so powerful in its retelling, because the Ada is an ogbanje, and for a long time when she was born, or rather for a long time when they were born, you would understand why, because the Ada is not really bound to the gender binary, because the Ada contains multitudes, because the Ada is inhabited by different spirit forms who have taken residence in their body. Spirit forms that are birthed individually from pain and trauma. So this book is both talking about the Ogbanje, but also metaphorical in the way we split ourselves when we endure trauma. We split ourselves to protect ourselves, and sometimes to even cause further damage to ourselves when we're traumatized. So the Ada's many selves are birthed through trauma, and in each point, an individual spirit is born and birthed, and that spirit takes control and rides them for a while. But this book is not just about the Ogbanje and how the Ogbanje self is split into so many different parts, waiting to combust and explode into nothingness. No, this book is about how the Ada decides to bring all their selves together to make a complete whole. It's a patchwork of selves, but every spirit is a part of who they are. Every spirit brings something to their lives that they need. Every spirit is them. And that is what I loved about this book. The fact that when you accept your many selves and own it, that is when you become your complete self. And I loved how the story was told. I loved how lyrical the language was. I loved how vivid the imagery was. And I loved the mysticism in this book. And finally, my last favorite book of 2018 is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Now, I listened to this on audiobook. It was the group book for Sam Wayne's Reachathon, and I loved this book. This book is magical and fantastical and beautiful and heartwarming and heart-wrenching and perfection in every way. I love Zan. I love Clerk. I definitely love Firian. Luna is beautiful. I love the mother. I love the woodcut. I loved every single person in this book. I even loved the Sorrow Eater, but just because of what she represented. This book is filled with so many metaphors and so many things to learn. Now, what is this book about? It is basically about people's fears and how in our fear and our ignorance we turn good people to bad people and we extol bad people, or rather we are not aware of the dangers within and we just continually look at the dangers outside, believing that what we do not know and what we do not understand is evil. And so the people of the Protectorate every year are convinced that there is a witch who lives in the woods. And every year they take a newborn baby and they take the child to the woods in order to appease the witch, who they believe, has been eating the children, has been killing the children, but has been leaving their town alone. Except for the fact that the witch in the woods is not an evil witch. Zan does not understand why every year she finds a baby, but she does, and she feeds the baby a little bit of starlight so that they can grow up strong and beautiful and happy. And then she takes them to a family in the city so that they can adopt the babies, and the babies grow up happy and strong and vibrant with just that little bit of starlight. This has been going on for years until one day they bring a baby. This baby is different. This baby is special. This baby was accidentally fed moonlight, and she keeps feeding on moonlight, which gives her magical powers, and Zan decides to adopt her. And so you have a witch, a swamp monster, and a tiny little dragon all raising a magical little girl. And it's just fantastic because one minute you're thinking, oh, it's going to be such a cute read, but then this book, it's powerful. It's about grief and how, when we do not accept it and when we do not deal with it, it just grows and hardens us and becomes something terrifying and powerful. And I love this book. I think it's a book anybody can read, whether you're a child or you're an adult. It's a book that every single time you read, there is something new to discover, there's something new to adore. You understand about family ties, both chosen and biological, and how they bind us. I love the play on witchcraft. I love the fact that, it worked on the archetype of mother, the maiden, the crone. I love the fact that there were so many themes and so many metaphors built into it, and that the writing was simple and captivating and as magical as the story it was telling. The Girl Who Drank the Moon is fantastic, and I loved every moment of it. So yes, those are my top 5 favorite reads of 2018. Let me know down in the comments if any of these books also made your list. Let me know if you have plans on reading any of these books. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I will see you soon. Bye.